IAS 8, Accounting Policies, Changes in Accounting Estimates and Errors, Video 1. IAS 8 deals with three important aspects: change in accounting policy, change in accounting estimates, and prior period errors. Accounting estimates are part of normal business. When you guys did IAS 16, Property, Plant and Equipment, and you had depreciable assets, estimates had to be made of the residual value, the depreciation method, and the useful life. These estimates were based on judgment, and those judgments were based on the latest available, most reliable information you had at that point. IAS 16 says that estimates need to be revised annually. This is because estimates can change. When there's new information or as you use the asset and you have more experience, you can change the residual value or the useful life or the depreciation method. This is not an error that occurred. Estimates, by their nature, can change. Now, IAS 8 talks about what to do when an estimate changes. And IAS 8 says that a change in estimate is treated prospectively, going forward in profit or loss. Now, a change in estimate could possibly only influence the current year. For example, if you do a change in your allowance for estimated credit losses. A change in estimate can also influence your current year and future periods. For example, if the useful life of an asset changes or maybe the residual value. Now, you guys have done this when we did IAS 16, Property, Plant and Equipment. What is new and what IAS 8 adds is the disclosure of a change in estimate. IAS 8 says you need to disclose the nature of the change, the effect of the change on the current year. In other words, for example, with depreciation, did the depreciation for the current year increase or decrease due to the change in estimate? You also need to disclose the effect on all future years if it is practicable to do. If it is impracticable to estimate this effect, you do not need to disclose it, but you do need to disclose the fact that you could not do it. Now that we know what to disclose, where should we disclose it? Well, the place where we usually disclose a change in estimate is in the profit before tax note. So you would have your normal IAS 16 disclosure of depreciation, and directly underneath that you would say change in estimate, and you would say what changed, whether it was the residual value or the useful life or the depreciation method. You would say what was the effect on the current year, the fact that depreciation increased or decreased, and give the amount of that change, and then also the effect of all future years. So that's a cumulative amount, all future years together. But what if I don't ask you the profit before tax note in a test, and I ask you the property, plant and equipment note? You can also disclose the change in estimate in the property, plant and equipment note underneath the normal table where you start with carrying amount at the beginning and you reconcile to carrying amount at the end. If I ask you the profit before tax note and the property, plant and equipment note, you can disclose it in either. You can even disclose a change in estimate in a separate note and call it the change in estimate note. Bottom line is just disclose this information.